Okay, we are back with Lisa Waters Lane in the studio. She comes each week with your garden questions. Just what are people talking about? What are your neighbors talking about? And she comes and shares that with us over the airwaves. So welcome to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good to be back, as always.
Every week for years, for decades at this point, been doing this a long time. So it's kind of fun. So looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So how are your gardens, little girl?
You really want
There's an intro.
Yeah.
There's a pickup line.
It's like, little lady.
Yeah,
how
I
are
know.
you
Little lady. Oh, so anyway, what kind of garden questions we got?
Sure. So we got Phil has a question. He wants to know, why are you pushing fertilizer for plants and trees this time of year when things are going to be growing dormant soon? They're going to be going to sleep.
Right.
And second part of his question is, he's used to getting a winterizer fertilizer that specifically says winterizer, and ours doesn't say that. Ours all purpose. So he wants to know, what's up?
So okay, so commercially, a winterizer, so the industry has determined, oh, fertilizer's good in the winter. We'll make a special formula and call it winterizer fertilizer. It's a cool season release. It will become available to the plant while the soil is cool. Mm-hmm. There's two types of fertilizer: summer fertilizer, winter fertilizer. If you're dealing with chemicals, so petroleum-based products, your chemical fertilizers like your Orthos, your Scotts, your Peters, all these, the name brands, they'll make two brands, two varieties. The summer one doesn't work in the winter one doesn't work in the summer. So you got to have two.
Okay.
That's why they've got two varieties. It works in the winter well because plants are actually extending root growth. They're actually storing up energy right now in their root zone to get through winter. So these plants aren't really going dormant. They're just shifting their energy from the top to the bottoms of the plant. Mm-hmm. And so if you know that, if you give them a little bit of food, they can do that even better. They can be even more robust. So if they have a real harsh winter, they can get through more. Mainly you're fertilizing now for spring next year. The plants will use the food that they pick up right now, that you're putting on the ground right now. That's what's going to form next year's flower and leaf buds with. Critical for spring blooming plants like lilacs and forsythia and quince and rhododendrons and azaleas. You can go on. And even more critical for things that are edible: fruit trees, grapes, berries, all those brambles, pomegranates. They need that to form next spring's flower bud. Okay, what's the difference between our fertilizer? It doesn't say winterizer. First of all, Phil, thank you for reading and listening. So I know it's a great question. But basically, organics are totally a different, they're more natural. And so plants prefer an organic fertilizer, not just the plants, but your soil prefers organic fertilizer. So if you're putting down chemicals, let's say a 10-10-10 or 15-15-15 type of winterizer, your worms are not happy with that. Your plants are happy with that, but your worms hate that. Your mycorrhizal colonies, the things that are living, breathing in the soil that work in symbiotic relationship with that plant, they actually don't like it. So you need to actually put organics down. Even more so in the mountains of Arizona, where our topsoil is so tiny, so thin, razor's edge, that you can, a little bit of chemical fertilizer can do a lot of damage. And so now your plants become super dependent on you and that fertilizer, because you just killed off all your worms. You won't find any if you're using chemicals all the time. Whereas organics, you'll see the population increase. They work together and the plant can pick it up. It releases over a longer period of time. It works in the summer and in the winter. So it's a cool season and a warm season. Organics are the way to go. And I would say we make our own here at Waters Garden Center, using the 744 all-purpose plant food. If you're doing organic a vegetable garden, we make a fruit and vegetable food. It's a little different formula with lots and lots of calcium. So that food is better for your edible things or anything that blooms, but that calcium brings out the flavor and increases the size of those plants. So you get larger flowers, which means bigger fruits. So did I cover all the bases?
I think so.
I could go into the science of how it interacts with layers of the plant as well, but too much over the airwaves.
We'll pass on
Yeah.
that for another time. All right. Kathy is looking for a fast growing tree or shrub that will get at least 5 feet wide, but no more than 8 feet tall to block an ugly electrical box. But she doesn't want to block her view, but block
Sure.
the box. Say that
Yeah.
3 times fast.
Yeah, I know. That's a hard one. So electrical boxes and water meters and that kind of stuff, yes, they are hideous. Why they put those things right out there as a big old wart on the corner of the streets of things, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because electricians, I won't put all of my electrician friends
It's
down.
like, don't
That's
go there,
bad,
Ken.
but
Don't go there.
we got hundreds of years of history where we just plop things into the yard. Eventually, we'll get better where things are underground or better looking.
Right.
But yes, you can use some plants to hide those very, very easily, at least from the living room windows and that kind of stuff. So you can help me out with this. I don't know. We're going with Ellie Agnes or Silverberry.
Sure.
Could easily. In fact, that's a native. It's got blue and gold on the same plant. It almost has the color. It takes on the color of a electrical box, so it hides it really well. Nandina, Cotoneaster. There's a lot of them. Junipers. Here's one you got to come in and see us. Privets, sure. Boxwoods, we'll do that. There's a lot of them.
Euonymus.
Yeah, we could go on and on and on. So we've got plenty. Come see us. And you can plant those now.
Sure.
In fact, I would encourage plant now so it has time to root out, and then it'll grow next spring, and that thing will disappear after next spring's growth. It's a good time to plant.
Good. All right. Well, Jessie planted a red fountain grass in her yard.
Yeah.
She says it's big and beautiful, but a neighbor told her they will not winter over, and she wants to know, is that true?
So if you're up in the mountains above Black Canyon City, that is true. It's not going to live. It's an annual grass. So so purple fountain grass or red fountain grass, just beautiful purple flowering type of grass up to about just shy of hip high or so. It's very pretty, grows very fast, blooms a long time, but it will not come back. It won't even seed. It won't even come back it won't come back ever. So we do sell them at the garden center as annuals. We put them up with the annual flowers and veggies. We don't pretend that they are perennial plants. They'll come back every year. We have a whole series of grasses that do come back. Most of our grasses come back year after year. This is a great place to grow ornamental types of grasses. So from pampas grass we have a red Carly grass, coral forester grass, bunny grass. There's tons of cute little grasses. Blonde ambition, a native. So plant those if that frustrates you, or just come in next, I don't know, April, May after the frost. We'll sell you another one and just enjoy it as what it is. It's a pretty fast growing purple grass that you plant every year.
That's one of those, be aware of what you're planting.
Same with cacti. Well, cactus, if you put cactus out there, so many people move mainly from the Midwest. It seems like they got this fantasy of the Southwest. They got their, turquoise and orange for sofa. They got their cowboy hats, and you can tell it's dime store, type stuff. And they want cactus in their yard. They want to go all Southwest, and they have cutouts of javelina boards out there in the yard. And they'll go, where are your cactus? Well, there aren't not very many that grow up here. There's the prickly pear. There's the cholla. And that's it.
Right.
Well, where are my other ones? Good. There aren't any other ones. But I want cactus. You can't have them. How about yuccas and agaves? How about Spanish daggers and some of these spiky things? They have Southwestern, but they're not cactus. Well, I want cactus. So they go to Phoenix, buy cactus. They'll put $1,000 a cactus. Come up the hill, plant them, and in the winter they turn to mush, black, and they fall over and die. Going, why'd they die? Because they're annuals up here. They don't take our cold. Didn't you listen? Slap. Anyway,
they'll learn.
They'll learn. That's called gardening. You'll learn by making mistakes.
You do.
Hopefully, you're making mistakes in the right direction.
Correct.
We are out of time. Ken and Lisa Lane, the Mountain Gardeners. We'll be right back after this.